Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. It is an honor to always see you. Thank you for your feedback and your comments all this while. I really appreciate that. If this is the first time you're joining me today, it is an honor to have you on my page. Please, I'll encourage you to click the subscribe button right there so that you can always receive a, an update anytime I release a new content. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you for always coming back to me. I am very much happy to see you around. I wanted to share good news to every one of us about our contribution so far to this platform. We are now over 1000K plus subscribers, so that is a good thing. I would encourage us to keep referring, liking, sharing, telling your colleagues and friends. Put it on your social media platforms so that we can continue to build this community of practice. So thank you. I give you all the flowers for your contribution so far. Today, I'll be sharing with you a very much different dynamics about Scrum and Agile, which most people don't know about. For some people, they think that Scrum and Agile is such a boring thing to do. And for some people, they think it is just for software development. But countless of times I have shared with you that Scrum is not just for building softwares. Scrum could be used to do different things. Scrum could be used to write a book. Scrum could be used to plan your wedding. Scrum could be used for your religious services. Scrum could be used for content creation. That is what I use to do my content creation. Scrum could be used for your academic planning. It could be used for a number of things. If you're not sure what you could use Scrum for, I would always encourage you, please, as you can see on the screen, you can email me or you can contact me, either connect with me on my Instagram page, or you can reach out to me by booking a section on the website, and we can be able to talk about that. All right, with that said, let's get to the business of today. All right, so today we'll be talking about making Agile and Scrum learning fun. For some people, they say that for Scrum Masters teaching or tutoring them or encouraging about Scrum, it is such a traditional thing. I don't believe that. It depends on the approach you look at it. But today, I would walk us through on how we can use comic cartoons to make Scrum such an interesting project management or methodology in order to make it more fun. Just walk with me and let me guide you on that. As you can see on the screen, you could see an image. Again, I want to shout out to Marija, who is the original owner of this image. As you can see, I gave her the accolade. If you want to find more about the image, you can go to Scrum Gone Wide in 15 cartoons. So I just wanted to make sure that you kind of follow me on the original owner of the image, but I just wanted to use that image in order to point us or be able to shed a light on what I wanted to explain today. Okay, so on the image, it has a title saying, I know it's waterfall, but we feel better if we call it Scrum. One of the things that we discover in an Agile environment is the idea of Scrum bots or Scrum at fall or Scrum fall. What does that mean? Sometimes as a Scrum Master or as an Agile coach working with Scrum teams, you might be trying to guide or teach your team members on how they can really not just to do Agile, but also Agile. And sometimes they might not feel comfortable or they feel like what the practice has been all this while is Scrum, but in other words, it's not Scrum. So what is Agile? And that takes us back again to one of the contents I've made so far in the past about the idea of being Agile and Scrum and doing Agile and Scrum. By being Agile, again, Agile is a mindset. It is a way of doing things. So if it is a mindset, what kind of mindset it is? A mindset of doing twice the same amount of time in order to be able to deliver faster, right? You want to achieve the twice as much value, but in the same amount of time. Some team members think that by doing Agile, it is something of being Agile. That's not correct, right? As a Scrum Master, sometimes we do get resistance. You're trying to encourage your team members, you're trying to take to stakeholders, you're trying to encourage them on the Scrum process. But sometimes they're like, oh no, we think that we are comfortable with that. So they know that the practice is waterfall, but they will prefer to call it Scrum. Or they will borrow some Scrum practice in order to keep doing what they're doing, but that is not Agile. So using this image, I just wanted to point out that some Scrum Masters or even Agile coaches do encounter some resistance. And then if you're a stakeholder and a Scrum Master is trying to highlight some key information, I think the idea there is to pay attention and see how you can be able to accept the willingness to accept and to follow this Agile and Scrum process. The second thing I wanted to point out is the idea of time boxing. Everything we do in Scrum and Agile is time boxed, right? According to the Scrum Guide, every Scrum ceremony, be it the sprint planning, be it the daily Scrum, be it the sprint review, the sprint retrospective, every of the ceremonies we do in Agile or Scrum is time boxed. Let's say, for example, on the image we have on this screen, it says it prevents him from asking too many questions. Keep the daily Scrum short. I have observed some team members, based on my experience so far and based on my research, or even watching some kind of reality or Scrum events, some team members go above and beyond the time box. For example, the daily Scrum says that it should be 15 minutes, right? The first 15 minutes should be on the sprint goal. The team member should be able to update on the sprint goal. But the reality is that some team members do go over 15 minutes, even above 30 minutes. Why is that so? That is an anti-pattern. It is not the right Scrum process. Now, it is not for the Scrum Master to be able to guide the team members. Sometimes the Scrum Master might be trying to guide the team members, and he or she could encounter some resistance. How can we make it 15 minutes? Okay, so what I used to do with my team members is we have 15 minutes for the daily Scrum. And after the first 15 minutes, we have another 15 minutes scheduled for what is called PR or flex time. Now, there is what is called a parking lot. Parking lot is when team members who wants to stay on the call to listen to a detailed conversation, perhaps if a team member has raised a concern and they want to detail or dwell on that, the parking lot gives them the opportunity. Whoever has another thing to jump on could drop. If it is a visual call, could drop from the call. If it is in a physical environment, could leave that space and continue the business of the day. Remember, in the daily Scrum, the three fundamental questions are: what did you do yesterday? What are you doing today? And if you have any blockers. So the 15 minutes should be enough, where the team members should be able to go a round table to give an update. It is not a report section. It is an update based on the sprint goal. So if a team member is going beyond the required time, the Scrum Master should be able to draw his or her attention so that whatever the team member should be able to cover should be covered within the first 15 minutes. And then the next 15 minutes, which is the parking lot where they can discuss issues on the PR or flex time, could be used appropriately. Okay, so the fourth thing I wanted to highlight on this slide today is the idea of the sprint retrospective. As you can see on the screen, you can see about 4 team members. 2 persons are trying to get into a fight. Why is that so? Because of the issue of blaming game. The sprint retrospective is not a time where team members can be finger pointing or blaming each other or like screaming at each other. Not at all. It is an opportunity for them to reflect on the process, on the Scrum process. It is for them to be able to identify key areas for improvements. So as a Scrum Master, as an Agile coach, you should be on the lookout to guide them, set the stage, and be an excellent facilitator. So if you're a Scrum Master and you begin to see those signs, sometimes you don't even need for your team members to be able to be vocal. Sometimes non-vocal attitude could be a pointer for you to really engage them in a meaningful conversation. Okay, so What does that mean for us? It means, as a Scrum Master, that we should always pay attention to some non-vocal attitude and even to some vocal attitude of our team members in order for you to guide them and coordinate those Scrum ceremonies and artifacts. Who says that Scrum is not fun? Could you see that Scrum could be fun if only you know the right way of facilitating that? There are different ways you can facilitate and make Scrum such an interesting thing to do. If you're not sure of what to do or you have questions about what I have shared with you today, please put that in the comment section, or you can email me and I will be able to answer your question in a timely and much more detailed way. Thank you so much for always trusting me. Thank you for always visiting me. If you are looking for a place to enroll and get tutored and trained to become a Scrum Master, you have the website on the screen. Visit www.ineedscrummaster.com, or you can link up with me on my Instagram, or you can email me and we can set up a section where we can go and talk about that so that I could see how I can help you moving forward. Again, if you know of a friend or someone, please refer, and together we'll build this community of practice. Thank you so much for the time. And in the meantime, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.